Since 2008, it has been Alberta's all-Canadian music festival. And what a time it is. Jeremy Kornel is my guest on the podcast today.
Reluctantly.
This podcast, reluctantly sponsored by ThompsonMortgages.com. If you are set to renew your mortgage in 2026, reach out to Thompson Mortgages first. Timberbuilthomes.ca. Homes and cottages, recreational dwellings, and more at timberbuilthomes.ca. Concept Clothing and Culture. Amazing custom-made clothes for men and for women at conxept.com. And Wendy Campbell, realtor at blackmorerealestate.ca. If you would like to list your home, or if you're searching for your forever home, email Wendy at blackmorerealestate.ca. WENDE at blackmorerealestate.ca.
Reluctantly.
Hello.
Jeremy, good to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
As we record this, we've still got snow on the ground and temperatures below zero, but we are looking forward to some hot June nights coming up on June 19th and 20th in Beaumont for the Beaumont Music Festival, right?
That's right. We are very much looking forward to that and to the end of winter.
Has this been a pet project for you since the beginning, since 2008, or was there other people that started this and you kind of took over? To fill me in on the history of it.
Yeah. So it started out as a initiative by a city committee or town committee at the time. Town of Beaumont had a thing called the Promotions Committee that was looking for ways to promote the town and bring in new events, get people engaged. And I got a call. I had only lived there maybe less than a year, and they heard I was in a band and, hey, does your band want to come play? We're thinking of doing this little thing in the park and outside of town. And I said, yes. And do you need help? Like, can I help? So then I became a volunteer and been there since the beginning for sure. Yeah.
Was your band, was it Radioactive? Are you telling me that's almost 20 years that Radioactive has been a band now?
Not quite. Radioactive is 15 years. So it was actually, but me and the same singer, Leah, we had another band prior to Radioactive. So, yeah.
For anybody who might be watching or listening doesn't know, Jeremy's a dynamite guitar player in a local band called Radioactive with Leah. And, we may as well rattle off the other members of the band since we're talking about it.
Yeah, Radioactive. It's pretty much been the same lineup for almost the whole 15 years. John on bass and Julissa on drums, and Alex does everything else: keyboards, guitars, saxophone, vocals.
Have you guys recorded original stuff and put out an EP or a CD or anything like that?
Nothing really like that. No, we've recorded some covers or our own versions of covers and that kind of thing. But yeah, no. It's just it's just a fun project. We have a lot of fun doing it. So yeah.
And I'll bet you're still making the same money on a weekend in 2026 as you were in 2008 too, right?
Well, as I was in 1992.
I don't understand why the music industry, I mean, back in the 80s when you could play 6 nights a week, you were just getting $125 a night each member, and in 2026 everybody's still getting $125 a night. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's a passion project. You have fun doing it. You make a little extra cash. You get out and get people up shaking their ass and stuff at various venues that you play at. And, the other thing, too, is you don't stay together as a band for 15 or 18 years without being a decent band that, keeps getting asked back to events and stuff. So that's a testament to the people in Radioactive as well.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky with this group of people. We range from, Julie and Alex are in their early 30s, and John is retirement age without calling him out. He's getting up there, but so we're all over but yeah, we've had a lot of fun. We went to Australia last year, all of us, and played a show and hung out in Melbourne for 10 days. It was.
I saw some documentation of that, I think, on social media. Did you go over there? Was it someone there to visit friends, or was it just for a gig, or did you end up being able to put a few together, or was it just for a one-off?
Well, it was pretty much a one-off. Leah is from there originally, so she's been here for 18 or 19 years or something. But yeah, she was going for a friend's 50th birthday or something, and we just jokingly said, "Well, do they need a band? We'll jump on the plane with you." And within a week, we had flights booked, and we were just going over there and put together a show while we were there. Yeah, it was an experience, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah,
Multinational touring extravaganza.
yes.
How many times has Radioactive played the Beaumont Music Festival?
Played the festival. We played the last 2 years on the B stage, and we played the 10th anniversary back in 2018. And yeah, we're playing this year again, just because.
One of the great things about the Beaumont the Beaumont Music Festival, I keep going back to what it used to be called. At one point, it was the Beaumont Blues and Roots Festival, was it not?
It was the Beaumont Blues Festival, then the Blues and Roots, and then
Right.
BBRF, people became calling it. But yeah, the last few years, it's been the Beaumont Music Festival. So yeah, it evolved. It evolved as things do. So.
Tell me, before we get into lineups over the years and the lineup that's going to be there for this year, tell me about the situation with the location of the Beaumont Music Festival.
Oh, it's been quite a journey over the last year or so. Well, really over since COVID, really, because like a lot of other live music, nonprofit festival type events, there was a big crunch in 2020. We ended up in the hole. We had paid money out to people that we didn't get back. We had contracts and commitments, and everything shut down. So it's kind of been after that, then people were reluctant for a few years to be in public and to go out or to spend their money. And so it's been a slow regrowth over the last 6 years, really, and just trying to get back and never quite getting it there. And then, as everybody who pays bills and buys groceries know, things since 2020 have gone through the roof. So we used to put on our whole festival in the park with fences, toilets, logistics, all of the supplies, all of the stuff that isn't fun, isn't the music, isn't the bands. The unfun stuff used to be 40 grand, let's say, 40 to 50 grand, and it's gone since then to in excess of 150 to 200 grand just to put in some toilets and some fences. And so it's been tight. I keep reading every week, it seems, somewhere in this country, there's some festival. It was just one in, where was it, Newfoundland or something, that's struggling to keep going after 50 years of doing the same thing. And the Newfoundland Folk Fest, I think it was. But everybody's facing the same thing, right? The costs are going through the roof. So after last year, we had a bit of rain on the Friday. It affected our attendance. It affected our sales. We ended up a little bit in a hole, and it's kind of been that way for a few years. One year we kind of get back to here and then back down and up and down like a roller coaster. So we kind of looked at things in the fall of 2025, like a few months ago, and it was like we do the same thing, and it might be the hole we can't get out of, or we make some drastic changes. We need to cut some costs. We need to save some money. So we actually announced kind of around Christmas time or just after Christmas that we were moving indoors to the hockey rinks in Beaumont, to the Ken Nichols Center. There's 2 rinks, and it was a good plan. I think it would have been a lot of fun. It was indoors. We didn't have to worry about weather. We didn't have to worry about all of the logistics. It had indoor plumbing and all of those great things. But people weren't super keen on the idea of it because, like, we would have made it fun. We had a good layout. It was still going to be festival-ish, but people weren't super keen on it. And then earlier in March, we kind of got some notice from the city that the capacities we were given prior were not actually going to be accepted by the fire codes people. And they gave us some numbers that there was no, unless we were charging $500 or $600 a ticket, there was no way we could do it. So that's when we started looking around again, and it's like, what are our options? Where can we go that we don't have to put out all this money? We have good parking and good accessibility, and it just was logical. We contacted the Beaumont Ag Society, and the the badass grounds just west of town where we started out, and said, "Is there any options there?" And they were thrilled. They were like, "We have been wanting you guys to come back. We've been talking about it." And we went out there, had a look. Anyone who's been there back in the day when we were there, we were right along the road, a little space, a couple acres, not a lot of room, but now they've developed that site and we're going to be further back off the road. There's literally about a 40-acre bit of grassland where we can set up our stages, have great views, no obstructions. It's really going to be actually really good setup. We're excited about it. There's a few buildings for shelter. There's some power there, so we're not having to worry about generators running everything. And yeah, kind of everything worked out in the end. So
And it's interesting. I thought what was the site where the park was around the corner, or you have to walk through the park to get that? That's we're not talking about the same area, the ag society and the park area. That's two different
no, the
spots,
park
right?
was right inside of Beaumont, the Four Seasons
Yeah.
Park, where we were since 2012. And yeah, it was good, but it had its limitations as well. And like I said, it was expensive to set up there. And
Well, and I think that's one of the things, when people talk about going to festivals or concerts or outdoor facilities for something like this, whether it's Folk Fest or, Rock and Thunder or the Beaumont Music Festival, you end up getting into a situation where you say, okay, we're announcing our headliners, we're announcing our main acts for the Friday, Saturday. Here's what else is going to happen. There's going to be a B stage. There's going to be this. There's going to be everything. And the tickets are X dollars. And everybody goes, whoa. And I think one of the things that people may not be cognizant of is the fact that the shitters do cost money. The site does cost money. The generators that are powering everything costs money. The rental of the stage, like there are so many inherent costs, and you talk about it, how it goes from $40,000 or $50,000 all of a sudden to $100,000 or $120,000, and that's before one person sets foot on the grounds and plunks their blanket down and starts shaking their ass to whoever might be up there if Boogie Patrol happens to be playing early in the night before the headliner comes on. So that is the thing. And, you being in the music industry, understanding all of the things that go on behind the scenes as far as arranging and organizing a festival like this, but also being in a band so that you're looking at it from the earning point of view as well. I mean, there's so much that it would probably blow their minds just to see what it takes from a manpower point of view, from a logistical point of view, from an organizational point of view, and all of the infrastructure that goes with it. So it's something. I'll bet sometimes you probably want to just sit down with somebody and say, okay, see this big pad of paper and all of these numbers? When you add them up, that's how much it costs. That's why the tickets are X dollars. But this is still a reasonably priced festival, isn't it?
we try, we want it to be accessible and it's family friendly, and we want people to come out. It's like, and with this move, it allowed us to also lower our prices a little bit for this year. We were planning to charge a little bit more, and we've got them to, I think it's reasonable. A weekend pass for $140 to see a bunch of acts, some you've never heard of and you might fall in love with, and some you have heard of. And then we have student pricing and all of that, and kids are free as well, under 12. And it's just, but yeah, if people realize, like, if we didn't have grants from the city and the province and sponsors, like we have quite a few local businesses sponsoring us and all that, then we wouldn't have those prices. Then the prices would be $300 a ticket, because that takes a lot of the weight off, right? Is having all that extra money that people don't realize. Well, why do you need us to give you money when you're selling tickets? Like, why isn't this free? Like, but yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, right?
Well, even if it was $300, that's for 2 days. How many dollars are people spending to see one band one night in Rogers Place or Commonwealth Stadium? And then don't get me started about the reselling aspect of everything that goes on. We've all seen too much of that in the news recently with Live Nation and Ticketmaster and that sort of thing. So,
Yeah,
uh, with the Beaumont Music Festival, is it a nonprofit?
we are a nonprofit. It's volunteer run, and yeah, we are registered. Uh, incorporated, actually, nonprofit since 2012. So yes, we are a nonprofit.
Let me tell you about my mortgage broker for a moment. Mike at thompsonmortgages.com has been client focused for over 17 years. They take care of all the financial components of your real estate purchase so that you can concentrate on finding the perfect home. Whether you're a first time buyer or renewing like so many other people in 2026, let thompsonmortgages.com work for you. They find the lender and it costs you nothing for their services. The lender pays. Download the app and get pre-approved in 60 seconds. ThompsonMortgages.com, 780-413-6743. Tell them you heard about them on the Reluctantly podcast.
Reluctantly.
I'd like to take a moment to tell you how excited I am to welcome a new partner on the Reluctantly podcast. It's Timber Built Homes. Their focus is timber homes and cottages, year-round living, recreational dwellings, and beyond that, pavilions, barns, and freestanding timber-built offices. Complete information is available at timberbuilthomes.ca, and it's also where you'll learn about Timber-Built's Home in a Box. It's fantastic. An entire home package shipped in a sea can anywhere in the world right to your build site. See the floor plans, sample builds, photo gallery, and most important, the prices right on their website, timberbuilthomes.ca. And please let them know that you heard about them on the Reluctantly podcast. Now, I know that in the past, I've seen even the times where I've emceed. I think I've emceed there three times, four times. But there's been 50-50s and fundraising activities on the grounds during the festival. Is there a charity aspect of it from a nonprofit point of view, or is it not tied in? You just embrace people like I think it was the Rotary Club the last time I saw had a 50-50. You just offer for them to come in and use the grounds for an opportunity to use that as a fundraiser.
Yeah, it's about supporting other local groups. And, we've had initiatives for things like we've had our, a few years ago, 2024, we did an all-female performers on the Saturday, and we support groups that support those types of initiatives. And then groups like the Rotary Club or other local organizations, we're happy to have them. So the Rotary Club, they not only, they helped with the 50-50, but then they were running golf carts back and forth to bring people from the parking areas and stuff like that. So they gave us, it was a give and take, right? Everybody helps each other out. And then we go, if they need volunteers for 50-50s at like the Leduc Rodeo they did last fall, and we try to round up a few people to help them out too, right? It's a very small community. I think that's what people don't understand too. I'm talking all the time to people and friends that run other similar events, right? The guys at Ravenwood in Sherwood Park and things like that. It's not highly competitive. There are a few people out there that are doing it for profit and trying to do their own thing. And, okay, they don't want to play nice in the sandbox, so we just do our thing and they do their thing. But a lot of us, it's very communal and very, very connected, right? So everybody helps each other out, and it's great in that sense, right? It's kind of like the local music scene, as you would know, for the most part, the Edmonton music scene is pretty tight knit, like different genres, different things, but people get along, and it's not dog eat dog.
It's ridiculously supportive of one another. Very rarely do I hear of script scrap business going on between one band or and another, or a competition kind of thing. There is so much support, and you look at it, half the time there's somebody in this band is also a guitar player might be the drummer in this other band because they help out, or it's a different genre of music, or somebody's trying to make a living as a musician. You can't just be a one-trick pony. You got to be able to diversify and work your way around, and in order to do that, you got to do exactly what you just said. You got to play nice and support other people and help them out. And you're right. I have seen the support group, and I've witnessed it from just the support and encouragement and the experience that's shared with experienced musicians just with my son alone, who has played the Beaumont Music Festival,
Yeah,
I think
absolutely. Yeah.
three times as within three different bands: Stephanie Harp,
Yeah. Yeah.
DRT, and the Blues Puppy trio.
Yep. Yeah.
I was looking through the Facebook page earlier this morning, and I happened to see a picture of them, and I think it was is it one year, was it a youth stage or the early day Saturday stage or something like that, and their DRT was playing at that.
Yeah, it was that's for a few years we did a dedicated like youth evening on usually I think it was the Friday and that sort of thing, and it was great. But since then we've kind of evolved and we just kind of mix in youth acts throughout the whole weekend. It's not just a separate thing, and we've that's really big, right? It's really big to support. Like we've been doing this 19 years, so there are people that we met that were teenagers and played our stage and did that, and now they're off having whole careers, like your son for one. And a good friend of ours is Mac Long, who you know Mac Long, I think. And yeah,
Yeah, no, Mike.
he played in the youth thing, and he's gone on now. He's touring the world doing sound for some pretty big bands. So yeah, it's great to
Yeah,
see that kind of support that we offer people and how they where they end up in life, right? So
it sure is. I mean, Mac has developed into a tour, like a tour manager and a sound guy and tour, I mean,
yeah,
it's band manager. The people that he's worked with is phenomenal in the places that he's been. And yeah, you're right. That was actually one of the questions I was going to ask you because I did think of that, seeing the picture of Riley when he was 12, 13 years old, sitting behind the drum kit. And he looked so little sitting behind that drum kit. And now here we are in 2026. Tomorrow, I think he's going to India as we record this, and he's played Lollapalooza, India, and Coachella, and all kinds of stuff.
yeah,
Dubai, Abu Dhabi, traveled all over the world, and it's the initial the initial encouragement from the music community that starts in a place like Edmonton, in a place like Beaumont. So you have no idea how grateful I am for that. And anytime I ever have an opportunity to laud the Edmonton music scene, I do, because from you know, the list is as long as my arm and back. How many people have lent their expertise, experience, and time to my son to get him to where he is today. So you included. So
yeah.
it's very much appreciated. I think the other thing that you touched on briefly there is how great it is that the Beaumont Music Festival allows 12 and under free with the accompanied by an adult, right?
Yeah.
Giving kids an opportunity to see the joy of creating music and perhaps making, maybe the next Beaches or the next Gordie Johnson and Big Sugar, the next whoever, 5440, who have all played at the Beaumont Music Festival. I guess Big Sugar's going to be there this year, but
Yeah.
the next ones are coming from maybe an experience like that. And yeah, everything's expensive these days. So when you have the Beaumont Music Festival giving kids an opportunity to come for free with their parents, then not only do their parents not have to worry about a babysitter for the weekend or whatever, but they have an opportunity to share the joy of the festival with kids.
Yeah, and we've actually, well, last year we started, and this year we're continuing. We're really stepping that up too, because a good friend of ours from Beaumont, Andrew, he's a musician. He plays as well around the city, and he's also by day a school music teacher. So he teaches elementary school. So he wanted to do more for the kids. So last year we started, and this year we're kind of expanding it. Where we're for the Saturday afternoon, he puts together a whole program in there. We have a tent for him, and the kids can go and just for free. He does a drum circle and teaches them rhythm, and he does has other guests come in and do different things that keep the kids entertained. It's not just here sit with your parents while they watch a band they love that you've never heard of. It's a whole other experience, like hands-on with the kids. So it's really been great that Andrew took that on too.
Then on top of that, the family spaces as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's It's cool for us, like hitting 19 years. We never expected that. We did the first year and said, "Do we want to do it again?" Well, I guess so. And we did the second year and said, "Do we want to do it again?" I guess so. But now there are kids who were in the audience at whatever age with their parents who are now coming with their parents who are now grandparents and they have their kids with them. And we look out and see familiar faces that are got their own families now. And so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
One of the neat things about the evolving process of the Beaumont Music Festival is it's not just the stage and on one side porta potties and on the other side is all the band area or whatever. There's you have the vendor market and all kinds of other things and displays, and there's indigenous dancing that's taken place in the past, I know. But tell me about the vendor market. Is there still an opportunity for people to go to beaumontmusicfestival.ca and get in on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We just opened that up this week actually. So yeah, we always it's about supporting local artists as well, right? It's all handmade products and we have this vendor village that I don't know, I forget when we started it. It's been there for a while and just kind of evolved over time as well. And they come and they set up and sell their wares, all kinds of cool handmade stuff. And it's just another way of supporting the arts community outside of just the music community, right? So it's been pretty great.
With the location, is there camping opportunities? Can people go out and spend the weekend sort of thing so that they're not on a highway in between, going at night and back in the morning?
That's actually another really great thing about moving back to the Egg Society. We've had camping the last few years at the Egg Society. They would run it and then just bus people into the other location. But now it's all going to be right there. They can just walk over when they're ready and walk back at the end of the night. Just there's obviously some limited space, but yeah, we'll fill that up with people that want to come. The great thing is like this isn't just a Beaumont festival. We track our sales over the years and historically over the last 15 years or so as we've been tracking it, it's probably an average of 30 to 35% Beaumont residents who come out, and then the other 70% is about half, so another 35% from the Edmonton end area, St. Albert, Druid Park, etc. And then there's a large population that comes from all over. Like one year we added up, it was like 85 different municipalities across Western Canada. We've had people show up. There was a guy from Germany last year, and there was people from Eastern Canada. Like we really, people are. The word has gotten around over the years, and people are enjoying what we do, and they're coming from all over, which is pretty cool as well. So
So we've got headliners, and actually, you want to talk about the fact that a certain percentage of people come from all over the place. Well, it's because of the notoriety of some of the acts that you've had. Like, just not going back all the way to 2008, but if we just go back to 2020, you had, Junior Gone Wild, you had, Punch Drunk Cabaret. I think, 2020 was that the one that was it moved to September?
it
In
2020,
in
yeah, in September with our very
Right,
limited capacity and all socially distanced and all of that
right,
stuff. Yeah,
right, and I think Stephanie Harp Experience also played that
yeah,
one,
yeah. Stephanie was there
as
for sure.
well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So you go back, Junior Gone Wild, Punch Drunk, Stephanie Harp, and then, you got Brothers Landreth and Junk House, so Tom Wilson was there, who was always great, and it wouldn't be long before he was back with Blackie and the Rodeo Kings. I can't remember what year that was,
yeah.
and maybe it'll come to me.
It's
Um,
pretty much all a blur to me a lot of the times too.
yeah. But some of them have gotta stick out, right? Some of them you gotta be sitting there, watching them on a Friday night, the last act on a Friday or Saturday night. Maybe it's Corb Lund or The Beaches or Headstones or something like that, and you're saying, "Wow, I can't believe we got these guys to play our festival. It's so great, and everybody's having such a good time." And
Oh yeah, it's absolutely that's the highlight, right? Is the fact that these people like are coming here to our little town of Beaumont on the edge of Edmonton, and yeah, there's been some really great experiences for sure. Last year we had 5440, and people were I surprised me how much of a fan base they still have after all these years. Like I've always been a fan, and I loved their show, and but everybody was raving about them. But yeah, there's been some great ones, like Sam Roberts and Finger Eleven and Watchmen and all these big Canadian bands that are have a big fan base from all the years they've been around. So it's
yeah,
been pretty
sure.
cool.
Odds, Grapes
Oh
of
yeah,
Wrath.
odds,
Yeah,
yeah.
all kinds. It's funny, you see 5440 and you forget how many songs they had that you go, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like you just keep going because they just start rattling off all of the songs that you heard on the radio all through the 90s into the 2000s. And
Yeah, and that's what we heard from a lot of people too. Wow, I knew this song, but they kept going with another song I know and another song I know and another song. Like
yeah.
they got a huge repertoire. They've been around since '84, I think. So yeah,
Yeah.
they were great. Good
So
guys.
when you talk about, and then these are all the names that end up being the last show, the last act up on the stage on a Friday or a Saturday night, you end up with, Junk House and Headstones and Moist and Barney Bentall and all of those guys. But the other great thing about the Beaumont Music Festival is the fact that there are so many quality local acts that get, whether it's the main stage or the B stage, whatever time of the day it might be. It's so great to see so many local acts being featured and having an opportunity to show how great the local music scene is at the Beaumont Music Festival too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's kind of the model, right? You got to have a few recognizable names that'll help to sell the tickets and that sort of thing, but it gives people a chance to learn about all this great stuff that's happening locally and some amazing bands we've had over the years. Like I can't even begin to name them. We've had like close to 400 acts over the last 19 years in various stages and various forms, and it's a lot. And there's been just some pretty amazing groups that you mentioned Boogie Patrol earlier. Like that was that the second year, the first time we had them? I think it was, because the first year, 2008, Rotten Dan was in the crowd. He had smuggled in a bottle of tequila, and he came over and said, "Here, do you want a shot?" And then he's like, "I got to tell you about my band." And we checked them out and had them out the next year, and they just blew everyone's minds, right? So good, so good.
Reluctantly.
This podcast is reluctantly sponsored by Wendy Campbell, Realtor at blackmorerealestate.ca, serving the greater Edmonton area, proudly Canadian and locally owned. Contact Wendy at blackmorerealestate.ca. That's WENDE at blackmorerealestate.ca. Why does she not have a Y in her name? I don't know why. It's none of my business, probably none of yours too. Wendy has over 20 years of home sales experience. She has extensive knowledge of the new and previously owned home market. She can help you out with a free market evaluation of your home. And if you're looking to buy your forever home, she's got all the resources to help you with that as well. Not to mention, she's a builder partner with Rowett Homes. Wendy at blackmorerealestate.ca. WENDE at blackmorerealestate.ca.
Reluctantly.
Hey, give me a minute to tell you about Concept Clothing and Culture. CONXEPPT.com. Suits and tuxedos. And you can find them right here in Edmonton. They're handmade suits, custom tuxedos, tailored essentials, suits starting at $1,188. You choose everything. The color, the fabric, even the stuff on the inside. The little pokey pocket thing that sticks out. It's amazing. It's a terrific experience. You can go through and get something as fancy as a tuxedo, or you can start with outerwear, matching sets, tailored essentials. They even do shirts, trousers, vests, and they do amazing couture for women. CONXEPPT.com. Concept, Clothing and Culture. Look your best.
Reluctantly.
I was looking on the Beaumont Music Festival's got a Facebook page, which is terrific, and the pictures looked like they didn't go right back to the beginning, but a lot of the pictures. I made a quick note of where's my thing? Here it is. I made a quick note of some of the people that I saw, just breezing through the pictures quickly. Jimmy Gabosh, Daryl Barr, Bobby Cameron, Wayne Alchin, Rusty Reed, Crawdad, Amos Garrett, Boogie Patrol, Rotten Dan, Dan Sinizak, Shagwar, Radioactive, Olivia Rose. There's so many others. Stephanie Harp. There's so many other Martin Kerr. other great local acts that have been there. And I know that you said there's been over 400, so I didn't expect you to rattle them off all in alphabetical order or anything like that. But it really is a testament to what that music festival means to the local scene and, of course, to Canadian music a little more broadly. Um, let's talk about this year's lineup. It's pretty exciting stuff, I think, don't you?
Yeah, like I said, it's been a very whirlwind few months because we were going through some changes and relocating and all of that, and trying to work with limited budget. And I think we came up with some pretty really good acts that people are going to be excited to see. Like on both stages, like. And some people, obviously everybody knows, or a lot of people know Big Sugar. They've been around. He's been doing it a long time, Gordy. I've worked with him a few times, but then, yeah, and speaking of local acts that have done well, Royal Tusk on Saturday night right before Big Sugar. Like those guys they're all over. I think they're in the U.S. right now touring. They've had great success, and they're an Edmonton band. People need to realize these guys started out here playing the same bars that a lot of other people are playing now, and they've done well for themselves. So, and same with Lucette. It's another Edmonton-based artist. She's going to be on our main stage, and just really amazing the music that people are writing and putting out. Like it's world class. We've always said that since the beginning. Why would we go outside of our borders? Why people ask, why are you Canadian only? Well, because everything you need is here. It's world class talent that grows in this country, right? So
Olivia Rose also playing on the main
yeah,
stage early in the day on Saturday. Olivia was there. She was there playing when the law for underage performers was overturned. We had the press conference at the Needle Vinyl Tavern downtown. She was there because I was working with David Shepard and the government at the time, and previously Greg Pretty, who's also been on the stage at the Beaumont Music Festival with Bobby
yeah,
Cameron. And of course Carson Cole, who helped out with that in between Greg Pretty and myself. But yeah, Olivia was on stage and ended up singing at the Needle Vinyl Tavern that day when we announced that the law had changed to allow underage performers go in and share some stage time with more experienced musicians at AAA establishments and licensed bars. So yeah, I've known Olivia for a very long time. As well, she would have been under 18 at that time,
yeah,
but
yeah,
very worthy of the stage time. And then we have, I'm excited too because I'm working with Lyle right now to organize a time to have Todd Kearns on my podcast here. And we'll talk, you have an opportunity to plug the Beaumont Music Festival a little bit more and find out more about Todd Kearns and Tuque.
yeah.
How unbelievable is the band Tuque and the members therein? Isn't that incredible, the story behind those four guys?
Yeah, exactly. And they're not as well known as people think, but I think once people see them, like they're incredible. Like these guys all have these careers working with like Slash and Shania Twain and all these huge
And
people
Kelly
like
Clarkson and
Kelly
yeah,
Clarkson, yeah. And here they are. We got this band that does incredible stuff. Their original stuff is great, and then of course they really hit everyone in the memories with all their classic rock stuff that they do, and they do it well and very professional. And just I haven't actually met them in person yet, but everybody I know who's met them, and they're like super down to earth, and that's something that's important to us too. We've had a few, I won't mention names, but big egos come through, and it's like, why? Like we don't. Yes, you make more money than some people, but everybody's here supporting one another. Just have fun. Like I got no room for egos. That's one of the things, right? It happens, but those
mhm.
guys, everybody, we've been pretty lucky over 19 years. Most of the people have been pretty awesome to work with and down to earth. But yeah,
Everybody talks about the old story of the Van Halen's rider, "No brown M&Ms." Has there ever been anything? Because I know at some point you were in charge of a rider for some band, and you probably looked at it like, "What the hell?" Can you remember one thing where you just thought, "Oh, how are we gonna get that?"
there's been nothing too weird or crazy. It's just some pretty exclusive. The one that stands out is and it's pretty again super down to earth people. Biff Naked and her band, and her husband is the guitar player, and they had this wine on their list that was expensive, like $100 a bottle of wine, and we wanted a couple bottles of it, and we found it. We went out. We had to go all over the province, and we found this wine, had it in the trailer for them, and the first thing he said to me is, "We've been putting that on the list for years, and nobody's ever actually bought it for us. So we're super grateful." But yeah.
Oh, that's something. Some of the other things too. We're talking about the B stage. Have you ever seen Gord Steinke's band play, the Big Stein Band, before? I know he's playing this year.
He's playing. Yeah, we had him a couple years ago actually, and it poured and poured and poured rain during his set, I think. So he didn't even get a full set. So yeah, it's good to have him back. Another super great guy, right? Been around Edmonton for his whole life.
Oh yeah, it was always so weird to see this bass player up there singing, 6'6", and oh yeah, he's the guy that brings you the news on Monday. So
Yeah.
right now he's saying cheers to everybody, launching into another cover tune, but he'll be telling us about what the Prime Minister did in his office on
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Radioactive kicks things off on the main stage on the Friday. That's your band. Crown Lands. Tell me about Crown Lands.
I think it's something a little different than we've ever had before, right? They're a duo. It's very, you just got to hear it, I think, right? They're incredible musicians and incredible music, and just really their whole theme and message, and even the name of the band is really just based around bringing attention to all of the bullshit that's gone on in this country over the last 150 or whatever years with the indigenous populations and residential schools and all of that stuff, right? So
Yeah.
they are. I think people, it's gonna be different, right? We try to throw stuff in there that people haven't heard before too, right? So I think it'll be good. So
Awesome. Let's roll through it again. The main stage on Friday, June 19th, Radioactive, Crown Lands, Tuque. The B stage on the Friday, TBD. That's not the name of the band. It's to be determined. Is there still an opening, or have you already got somebody slated in?
no, there is a band, and they are a local Beaumont band actually that's been trying to get in for a number of years. When they started out, they were called Pandemic, and
Oh,
they're,
I know those guys.
you know, those guys, yeah. So they are. It's got a different name now, and I don't have it in front of
Yeah.
me, so of course I'm going to forget. But yeah, they should be fun. So yeah, we're
Yeah,
excited.
changing the main name of the band. Great idea. I like that. I like that move. Radio receiver and Nathan Miller band also on the B stage.
And those are both young acts. They're both like under 24 kind of acts. Actually, Nathan is under 18. I think he's only 17 now, and just local Beaumont kid who I he's been coming out to our open mics, and he's funny because it seems like every month we have an open mic and he's there with a different guitar, and he's just this kid who started at 15 and his entire life has revolved around this learning guitar, and he's become amazing in just a few years, just really, and learning all the oldies, right? Like all the guitar riffs from the 60s and 70s, and he's it should be fun too. Like just again, that's supporting local youth and getting them a chance to get on stage. So
Is he a looper? Does he do the same thing as Ed Sheeran with all the foot pedals and stuff, and
no,
then play
he's
along?
a pretty traditional electric guitar and just rocks out. And he's gonna have a whole band with him for this show. He's got some
Oh,
friends.
great.
He's gonna have drums, bass, everything. And yeah, he does vocals and guitar. And
Then on Saturday, June 20th, main stage, Olivia Rose. We talked about Olivia. Lucette, Royal Tusk, local, doing great. Their music is played at Rogers Place for Oilers games
yeah,
with some of their warm-up music and that sort of thing. Big Sugar, of course. If I had my way, 100 cigarettes, Gordie Johnson. Yeah, just if ever it's still the loudest concert. I remember the CI South watch, or was it CI South or convention? I can't remember. Anyway, I remember seeing Gordie Sugar there the first time when their old was a bass player that had the dreadlocks.
yeah,
We
yeah,
lost.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and man, they were loud. So Big Sugar will be great. Fractured, Playing with Fire, and Gord Steinke and the Big Stein Band on the B stage on the Saturday in between main stage acts. What do you know about Fractured and Playing with Fire?
Playing with Fire is another, they're a local kind of rock party cover band. Yeah, they're just fun. These bands are all just really going to be fun and high energy. We've often had a lot of singer-songwriters, and that this year it was kind of a deliberate choice to just have all bands and it's like full bands. And that's how I started when I was 16 or 15 and 14, I guess, is a bunch of friends got together and we played in a band, right? So it's a whole thing that you get playing with other people versus just being solo. So it's just something we decided to do this year, and I think it's going to be louder and funner than it's going to be a good time on both stages. And our new setup at this, we have a lot of more room, so both stages are going to be kind of situated where you can just sit in this big grassy field and just turn a little bit and see what's going on both stages. So no getting up and moving around. So
Awesome. And you talk about having all bands this year, and earlier in the podcast, talking about the inspiration maybe for younger kids who might be in the crowd. It always brings me back to that Dave Grohl quote: "Go out with your buddies and with your instruments in the garage and suck, and just keep playing and keep sucking until you suck a little less." And then even a little bit less. And then all of a sudden you don't quite suck so bad. And then maybe some neighbors start, they start thinking, well, they're getting better. So, but the Dave Grohl quote: "Go out in your garage
yeah,
and suck until you don't suck anymore." Just looking through the website, you can get your passes through beaumontmusicfestival.ca. The 50/50 tickets coming soon. Camping passes coming soon. Do you have a date for when those will be released, or have they been?
they are. I think she's just updating the site this weekend or this week. So yeah, everything should be up in the next day or so. Also because this site we have a lot of parking for cars. So there's going to be an opportunity to pre-book your parking. So you don't have to show up and think, is there going to be a spot? Is there not going to be a spot? I think there's 300 parking stalls. So you can load up the car with your friends and family and have a spot there waiting for you when you show up.
Lots of opportunities through the website there, too, to click on and find out how you can help out with volunteerism. If you want to do some sponsorship, I'm sure you're not going to turn anybody away, even if it comes late, as far as sponsorship is concerned, right?
No, sooner is better because we can get your logos on our posters and all that sort of thing. But yeah, we're happy to have all the support we can get for not just in cash either. It can be, a lot of people support us with other things, in kind stuff. So yeah, it's like I said, it's a community thing, and we need all the help we can get. Like a lot of other events, right? We're struggling as well, right? And we're just trying to keep it going, keep things moving forward. So
You won't believe the fun you'll have. Beaumont Music Festival 2026 lineup is at beaumontmusicfestival.ca. You can get your tickets. You can see your lineup. It's June 19th and 20th at the Ag Ground site, the Badass Fairgrounds, as it were. And if people have any more inquiries, all the information is there at beaumontmusicfestival.ca. Jeremy, thanks for doing this.
well, thank you.
Looking forward to another great one as we get closer to 30 years for the Beaumont Music Festival.
Right on. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Reluctantly.
This podcast reluctantly sponsored by ThompsonMortgages.com. If you are set to renew your mortgage in 2026, reach out to Thompson Mortgages first. TimberBuiltHomes.ca. Homes and cottages, recreational dwellings, and more at TimberBuiltHomes.ca. Concept Clothing and Culture. Amazing custom-made clothes for men and for women at CONXEPPT.com. And Wendy Campbell, Realtor at BlackmoreRealEstate.ca. If you would like to list your home, or if you're searching for your forever home, email Wendy at BlackmoreRealEstate.ca. WENDE at BlackmoreRealEstate.ca.
Reluctantly.